All right, good morning and welcome. It's time for us to talk sport on Global Television, give you all the big stories that are making the rounds in the exciting world of sport. My name is Anthony Momo, the king of sport, and I'll be dishing out all the big stories making the rounds. And hopefully, in the course of the program, we'll be joined by Charles Ohaji, who is a coach and also a sports analyst, as we look at all the trending stories making the rounds. Already, it's no longer news that our darling Super Falcons of Nigeria have qualified for the third round and final round for the Olympics qualifier, talking about Paris 2024. It's been almost 15 plus years Nigeria went to the Olympics last. I remember that in 1996, Nigeria was the first African team to win the gold medal in the football event, where the likes of Papilo, talking about Kanu Nwankwo, Dano Mokachi, and co were able to turn the tides around against Brazil, Argentina to win the gold medal for Africa and Nigeria. All right, fast forward, it's now 2024. We're hoping that the Super Falcons will be able to run past the Bayana, who they'll be facing in the final qualifying match to qualify for the sole ticket for the African team to qualify for the Olympics. So we're wishing our Super Falcons, who are 9 times African champions, the very best of luck as they face the Bayana of South Africa in the final qualifying series. All right, let's move on to still talking national issues and looking at the Super Eagles star and the captain at the 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations, talking about the man called William Troost Ekong. He's in the news this morning as we talk sport. Let's give you the big story concerning Troost Ekong undergoes surgery. Penn's emotional message is the headline of that big story. Nigerian centre back and Super Eagles standing captain William Troost Ekong has undergone surgery to address a ruptured biceps femoris in his right leg sustained during the 2023 African Cup of Nations AFCON tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. Troost Ekong, who played a pivotal role in Nigeria's journey to the AFCON final and was voted the best player in the tournament, highlighted his defensive prowess and strong leadership qualities. The 30-year-old was not only a rock at the back for the Super Eagles throughout the AFCON tournament, but was equally impactful up front, scoring 3 goals for Nigeria, despite encountering a hamstring injury during the group stages, which forced him to miss the final group match against Guinea-Bissau. Troost Ekong's commitment shone through. His bravery chose to play through the pain in the crucial knockout stages, even playing the full 120 minutes of the semi-final against South Africa. This decision not only demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the team's success, but also allowed him to etch his name in history. Surgery option Ekong's, that's the man there, William Troost Ekong, and that's the message he sent. He said, "As many know, I got injured during AFCON. Disappointingly, this injury has turned out to be more serious than first thought. I have always given everything and pushed myself. Every player has played with the pain at some point in their career to fight for club or country. It's part of the game. I managed to continue in the knockout stages, and I was willing to continue to do the same now to help back push for the prizes in the league and Europe too. But after more assessment and consultation, it was the best decision long-term to undergo surgery now. My full focus is getting back better. than ever before. So we wish our darling Super Eagles standing captain William Troost-Ekong speedy recovery so that he can give his best to PAOK and also to the Super Eagles. Especially, we've got an eye for the World Cup in 2026, and the qualifiers will soon begin, and we need William Troost-Ekong to marshal the Super Eagles defense line as we wish to get to Mexico, US, talking about the 2026 FIFA World Cup. All right, let's let you know that Troost-Ekong, yes, the surgery has been successful. Let's move on to other issues on the home front. There was a big story yesterday that the Swan president, Isaac Benjamin, was impeached yesterday, but a counter story has emerged this morning, and the National Executive Committee of Swan Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Swan, has dismissed claims by a few disgruntled elements that Isaiah Benjamin has been impeached. A statement from Swan's National Secretariat in Abuja yesterday and signed by the Association Secretary General, Ambassador Ikenna Okonkwo, insisted that at no time did NEC meet or suspend Benjamin as Swan president, talk more of contemplating his impeachment. The statement described the certain communique by a few persons as lacking in substance, non-existing, and mere figment, as 12 out of the 16-member NEC as presently constituted as solidly behind Swan president. All right, we will hopefully be talking to Ikenna in a few minutes. Let's go for a quick break. When we return from the break, the program continues. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Stay Talk Sport on Global Television. Still give you the top stories making the rounds. Let's give you more stories concerning the final entry list for Glasgow World Indoor Championship unveiled as 20 reigning world champions and 7 gold medalists from Tokyo Olympics among the entries for the World Athletics Indoor Championship at Glasgow 24, taking place in from the 1st to the 3rd of March. The final entry list confirmed that 651 athletes from 133 teams have been entered for the global event. The 651 entries comprises 331 women and 320 men. 18 of the gold medalists from the last edition of the championship will be in action in Glasgow, vying to end another global title. All right, let's do some weightlifting. Let's talk about Nigerian weightlifters next. As we give you big stories, let's tell you that 24 Team Nigeria's weightlifters continue to intensify preparations for the African Games slated for Ghana next month. A top official of the Nigerian Weightlifting Federation told our correspondent that weightlifters are doing fine in camp in Abuja and are ready to go at the African Games by the time the successful lifters are announced by the coaches in due course. The women's weightlifters in camp are Florin Murufat Ajoke from Lagos, who were Monica Mary from Ogun State, Agba Ebele Chuku from Delta, and Didi Omolala Onome from Lagos. We've got Lawal Rafiatu Folashade from Oyo State, and Olarinoye Adijat Adenike from Lagos, and Ayodele Roof from Oyo. We also have Yusuf Ismail Yat, and that are some of the names of those joining us. And hopefully, hello Ikena. Good morning, Ikena. Yeah, sorry, just to call you. Yes, just to call you on short notice. We just got the news as regards the issue of the impeachment of purported impeachment of Benjamin, and we wanted to know if you could join us via Zoom or talk to us audio as regards if it's true that he has been impeached. Just to clarify the statement made by you.
Okay, so can I respond at the moment?
Okay.
On the road.
Okay, so we'll call you back in 2 minutes so you get ready. We'll get your take on that news in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, I'm actually on the road, but I can respond to you right away if you are ready now.
We have to come. We'll call you back so that we get your pictures up and running. Then we'll get your take quickly. All right, just 2 minutes. All right, we'll go for a very quick break so that the technical officials can get it sorted out. Then we'll get this one Secretary General to respond to that big story as regards the impeachment of the SWAN president. After this break, stay with us. All right, while we're still trying to get across to the Secretary General of SWAN to confirm or debunk the story concerning the impeachment of the National President Benjamin Isaac, let's give you more stories while we wait for his connections to go through. Meanwhile, talking about Nigerian lifters, 24 Team Nigeria, let's tell you that the weightlifters have continued to intensify preparations for all the African Games slated for Ghana next month. A top official of the Nigerian Weightlifting Federation told the correspondent that the weightlifters are doing fine in camp in Abuja and are ready to go at the African Games by the time the successful lifters are announced by the coaches in due course. The women's weightlifters in camp are Folori Mosfata Joke Lagos and Uwe Monica Mary from Ogun State, Agba Ebelechuku from Delta, and Dide Omo Lola Onome from Lagos, and Lawal Rafiatu Falashade Oyo State, and Olari Noye Adijat Adenike from Lagos, and Ayodele Roof from Oyo, Yusuf Miyata Adebukola from Osun State, and Ladi Taiwo from Oyo. We have Eze Joy Ugbona from Delta, Osijo Mary Taiwo from Oyo, and Ayimba Dokas from Kano. While the 12 men invited to camp are John Solomon from the FCT, King Kalu from Cross River, Agboro Favor from Bayelsa, Akpa Emmanuel Inomo from Bayelsa, also Okpa DJ from Adedakpo from Lagos, and Omofia Adidiong also from Akwa Ibom. And we've got Akanom Desmond from Delta also making it. It's now time. Let's move on. Those are names of some of those invited that are in camp. All right, let's go for a very, okay, let's just completing the names of those that have been called for the weightlifting, camping getting set. All right, let's just quickly go for a quick break. When we return from the break, I will be giving some more stories, then we'll go to the foreign scene. It's now time for us to talk with the Secretary General of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, Ikenna Okonkwo. Ikenna, good morning. Nice to have you join us on Talk Sports. Ikenna, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to join you.
All right, the story about the impeachment of the SWAN president, Benjamin Isaac, how true is it?
Spoken yesterday through a press statement. That is a fake news, and it's something that doesn't exist because according to operational standards anywhere in the world, and of course how we operate as a professional body, few people cannot, few can have their say, but majority have their way. Out of 16 member National Executive Committee, 12 are solidly behind the president. So there's no how only 4 we have to come out to say they impeached a sitting president. That's not possible.
Okay. What's the grounds of those who decided to impeach the president? What did they say he did wrong?
They just want to make a noise. They just want to catch the headlines on the media. It's a ruse. There's no fact about it.
No, the question is, what did they give as a reason for them even attempting to want to impeach him, or come up with that such action?
Okay, no, of course, it's the accusations and allegations.
About what? Can you be specific? Accusation about what?
They claim that he was visiting after the election. You know, we just emerged.
Okay.
After the election of last year, so they claim that he was visiting stakeholders without their knowledge, and with also a claim of financial this, financial that. Meanwhile, there has not been any activity that lead to whether expenses were made or not. You know, saying things that look like somebody beating the air. You know, so just nothing here, nothing concrete, just to say something that the public will hear and it will look like something is happening.
Okay, has the president himself, has he made any comment as regards his purported impeachment?
He doesn't need to make any comments as a body from National Secretariat in Abuja, where we operate from. We've made a statement. We have dismissed such a move, and we have been able to inform the public properly that nothing of such is on ground.
Okay, would there be any punitive measures against this group of sports writers or members who went ahead to publish this story?
Yes, of course. In the coming days and weeks, we are going to review the activities. There is a level of our operation that is known as a full council. The full council is responsible for either approving or disapproving of any action by members of the NEC, or anybody at all, or any level of the organization at all. The full council is like the Supreme Court for us in the association. So very soon the full council will meet and take decisive action against those impostors and elements that are bent on disruption.
All right. Any update as regards preparations for the upcoming elections, especially the Swan NECO committee that was set up? Any update?
For FCT, right? Yeah.
Yes, for FCT.
At the moment, they are trying to get stakeholders to be on the same page with them, like I said. So to be, no, that's a construction.
All right, that's how much we can take care from Ikenna Okonkwo, the Swan Secretary General, as regards the purported story about the purported impeachment of the Swan president. All right, let's move to the foreign scene. Hopefully, we're hoping Charles Ohaji would join us via Zoom so that we can get his take as regards some of the big stories we'll be sharing this morning. All right, going to the foreign scene, let's tell you that taking to Old Trafford, Erik ten Hag insists that he doesn't need a public vote of confidence from new Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe as his future at Old Trafford hangs in the balance. United go to Nottingham Forest in the 5th round of the FA Cup on Wednesday, hoping to keep alive their last hope of a trophy this season. Ten Hag's side then face Manchester City in Etihad Derby on Sunday. Desperate for a win to revive their bid for Champions League qualification following last weekend's shock defeat to Fulham. Ratcliffe, the man you see on your screen right now, gave a lukewarm response to questions over Ten Hag's future after completing his £1.3 billion investment last week. But the United manager believes he has the backing of his new boss. All right, still talking Old Trafford stories. Manchester United, yes, they want one man, Zizou. Manchester United wants Zinedine Zidane to become their next manager. Is a big story we're giving to you this morning. Let's tell you that Jim Ratcliffe's dream is to make Zinedine Zidane Manchester United next permanent manager at the club. According to reports, the new Manchester United investor who recently acquired a 27.7% stake in the club in exchange for £1.3 billion has been quicker to start making changes behind the scenes at Old Trafford. Ratcliffe and his Ineos team have already appointed Manchester City executive Omar Barada as the club's new CEO and are trying to secure Dan Ashworth's exit from Newcastle in the hopes of making him a sporting director. Erik ten Hag is currently in the managerial hot seat at the 13-time Premier League champions, but pressure has been mounting amid suggestions Ratcliffe could look to replace him with the man to your right, talking about Zidane. Zidane is the British billionaire's ideal replacement for Ten Hag, and the club would be keen to bring in the French man if he wanted the job. As reported by Foot Mercato, the main issue for United is that Zidane has rebuffed attempts from other clubs since departing Real Madrid following his second managerial stint at the club 3 years ago. Madrid remained the only team Zidane has managed since retiring from his legendary playing career in 2006 after that year's FIFA World Cup. The 51-year-old first began his managerial career with Real Madrid's B team before being promoted into the first team position in 2016 and reappointed to the role in 2019. Zidane's outstanding success delivered Madrid 2 La Liga and Spanish Super Cup titles, 3 Champions Leagues, and other major team honors. His second managerial spell in Spain capital came to a disappointing end as Zidane sought to leave following a league title race that Madrid lost out in to Atletico on the final day of the season. United want to tempt the France World Cup winner to Old Trafford in the summer and believe he can help build a long-term project of success at the club. However, Zidane recently revealed he could see himself managing in Italy one day, where he previously starred as a player at Juventus. So would we see Zidane become coach of Manchester United in the coming days and weeks and months? Only time will tell. All right, still giving you big stories. Let's tell you that Erling Haaland is in the news this morning. He's making history as usual. Erling Haaland has scored 5 goals as Manchester City trashed Luton Town 6-2 on Tuesday night. The striker broke the deadlock in the 3rd minute when he lashed home from close range from Kevin De Bruyne's cutback from the left flank. Luton tendon Maggie had completed a well pass with Haaland, matching him for power and strength in one-on-one duels. But after 18 minutes, the City striker won out and doubled his side's lead. De Bruyne again was the creator, receiving from Haaland halfway and returning it to the Norwegian stride. He burst beyond Megin and crashed it through the legs of Team Crew with unerring cool. His hat-trick nearly arrived when De Bruyne sent Haaland clear and he clipped the ball over the advancing keeper. Then out of nothing, Luton brought a row from home fans on the stroke of the interval. A brilliant finish sent spinning into Stefan Ortega's top corner from 25 yards by Clark. They came out City at the start of the second half with the same ferocity with which the holders had begun the match, and they were rewarded similarly early. Clark was closer to a goal this time, though the angle was devilish. And a shot across the goalkeeper looked to be on, but instead he lashed it towards the near post and beyond Ortega for a 3-2. It came Kensworth Road, all 3 minutes of dream. That was all it took for Haaland to score his and his team's fourth. Then De Bruyne again, the provider, as he squared for a simple tap in. His fifth was harsh on Krul, a left-footed driver screaming through the goalkeeper as though bamboozled by the City's dazzling onslaught. Haaland had scored 5 in under an hour. Meanwhile, Kovacic added his name to the score sheet, rifling in 1 in the 72nd minute to deepen Luton's misery. That was the least later respite when Haaland was brought off in the closing stages. So it was 6 goals to 2, and Very sad for Luton losing that much. All right, we're still hoping Charles Ohaji is joining us via Zoom so that we can get his take as we got some top stories we've shared this morning. Meanwhile, let's talk about Stamford Bridge, the big story from Stamford Bridge, talking about Chelsea, is the fact that Christopher Nkunku is said to be out for 3 to 4 weeks after picking up yet another injury during Chelsea's Carabao Cup final against Liverpool on Sunday. The forward was a second-half substitute for Pochettino at Wembley, but was unable to help get the Stamford Bridge side over the line against Jurgen Klopp's eventual extra-time winners. After joining Chelsea from RB Leipzig in a £53 million deal last summer, the France international has had a scant playing time after first picking up injury during the Blues' pre-season fixtures. And Nkunku was sidelined for the first half of the season undergoing knee surgery, and after his return in December, made just 3 appearances before picking up a hip injury that kept him out at the start of the 2024 season. Meanwhile, Pochettino delivered the injury blow ahead of Chelsea's FA Cup 5th round fixture against Leeds on Wednesday, as the West London side look to pick themselves up and compete for another domestic cup after the weekend's disappointment. Meanwhile, Chelsea will be fretting on the fitness of forward as they continue to go without a consistent goal scorer. Senegal's Nicolas Jackson remains the side's sole regular striking option after the club failed to dip into the transfer market during the January transfer window. The window also saw Chelsea say goodbye to temporary to second striker Armando Broja, who moved their minutes away to Fulham for the remainder of the season. All right, let's take you to Anfield. A big story coming from Anfield talks about one player, Andy Robertson, is in the news. This one, Bayern Munich transfer target, is a big talking point. And next, let's tell you that Liverpool left back Andy Robertson has emerged as a target for Bayern Munich. All right, for my producer to know that it's a Bayern transfer target is what we're talking about right now. Okay, just to let you know that Liverpool left back Andy Robertson has emerged as a target for Bayern Munich. The Scotland international is understood to be a top the list of potential candidates to replace Bayern's Alphonso Davies, who is expected to join Real Madrid this summer. Bayern recognizes that it would be a major challenge to prize Robertson away from Anfield, but are determined to recruit a top-class replacement, so are setting their sights high. Robertson, who joined from Hull City for a bargain £8 million in 2017, is hugely popular figure at Liverpool and has played a pivotal role in the club's success under Jurgen Klopp. Meanwhile, Bayern have been aware of Davies' likely departure and have been collating a report on left backs across the globe. Robertson turns 30 next month, but despite his age, Bayern believe he would give them a similar energy and balance down the left flank to Davies, and believe this summer could be an opportunity to see if the squad would be tempted by a new challenge. Yes, that's the man wearing jersey number 26 there, likely to move to Bayern Munich in the coming days and weeks. That's if Liverpool agrees to sell on. All right, let's talk about the man. Anthony is in the news this morning. Erik ten Hag has defended Anthony and declared that his Brazilian flop can be unstoppable when he is back on form. Anthony's future at Old Trafford is up in the air, with United prepared to listen to offers for him in the summer, even if it means making a sizable loss on his £86 million transfer from Ajax in the summer of 2022. It's understood that Ten Hag still hasn't written the 24-year-old player off, despite starting him just once in the last 8 games. The FA Cup 4th round win at Newport was his last game. Anthony was on the bench again in Saturday's defeat to Fulham, when Ten Hag gave a full debut to teenager Omari Forsin on the right wing, and also brought Amad Diallo off the bench ahead of his most expensive signing. Meanwhile, as United prepare to face Nottingham in the 5th round of the Cup at the City Ground on Wednesday night, Ten Hag backed Anthony to come good again. Ten Hag defended his decision to play and to promote Forsin to the starting lineup after Marcus Rashford switched to the centre forward to fill in for injured Rasmus Hojlund. All right, from Old Trafford, let's take you to the Emirates. Arsenal is in the news this morning. Yes, we're talking Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is in the news this morning. Let's say that Arsenal will manage Gabriel Jesus through the season finale to avoid further flare-ups of his persistent knee problems. The Ghana strikers hasn't played since January 30th due to a new knee issue, though he was unused substitute in Saturday's win over Newcastle. And while Jesus is hopeful of making a playing return soon, Mailsport understands Arsenal medics are taking a cautious approach to his workload to ensure the ongoing knee complaint doesn't worsen. Jesus has suffered with fluid in the knee, and it is a situation that needs attention in between games. The Brazilian international has been dogged by knee problems since joining Arsenal ahead of last season, and those injury concerns are among the factors behind the club's move to sign a new central striker this summer with Ivan Toney, Victor Osimhen, and Joshua Zirkzee, and Victor Gyökeres among those the Gunners are looking at. Arsenal will also look to sign a new central midfielder with Martin Zubimendi among the club's target. Meanwhile, an out-and-out winger to supplement Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli will also be considered. Meanwhile, Arsenal hope Takehiro Tomiyasu and Alexander Zinchenko could both be available for Monday's trip to Sheffield United after recovering from injuries, while Thomas Partey is also nearing a full return from groin surgery, having been back in training. All right, Barcelona is in the news this morning. Let's give you this big story. Let's tell you that Barcelona are in a move for former Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea this summer. According to reports, De Gea is without a club still after leaving Manchester United at the end of last season as the Premier League Golden Glove winner was allowed to leave the club on a free transfer. The Spanish stopper has been a free agent ever since, although he is yet to secure a new employment despite being linked with a number of high-profile vacancies. Now, according to report from Spain, De Gea is being considered as a backup option for Barcelona. Mundo Deportivo claims that the Catalan side are looking to upgrade on current number 2 Iñaki Pena, who is contracted until 2026. With Barcelona short of funds, selling Pena could bring De Gea for free would represent a cost-effective way to reinforce their goalkeeping options behind number 1 Marc-Andre Stegen. That's the man there, Marc-Andre Stegen. Meanwhile, Pena had initially impressed with Stegen out on the sidelines earlier this season, missing 17 matches in total. Yet the 24-year-old then began to let goals slip in. He's deep in form, coinciding with that of the club in a period that saw him concede 19 times in 10 La Liga outings. Meanwhile, in De Gea, Barca could find a goalkeeper with 545 games worth of experience at the highest level. The 33-year-old has already been blooded numerous times in European club competitions, as well as earning 45 caps for Spain. However, De Gea is not the only target with the club already monitoring Lazio loanee Luis Maximino, who also impressed the Almeria. All right, let's talk some boxing. Upper punch, let's uppercut punch now. Let's get to the boxing ring and give you some big stories that has to do with boxing, and it has to do with this man, Francis Ngannou, has delivered a brutal warning to Anthony Joshua ahead of their upcoming fight after showing off his devastating power. The former UFC heavyweight champion is set for his second professional boxing bout when he meets Joshua in Saudi Arabia on March 8 after previously impressing in his defeat against Tyson Fury. Meanwhile, Joshua is attempting to keep his plans of becoming a 3-time heavyweight world champion title holder alive by beating Ngannou in the hopes of setting up a unification fight against the eventual winner of Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury bout. Ngannou is renowned for his terrifying knockout power and holds the record for the hardest point in the world, and registered his one-hit power at an astonishing 129 161 units. And now he has taken the opportunity to demonstrate his incredible power again ahead of his contest with Joshua by showing off a punch machine in a gym. Ngannou shared a video of himself striking the machine that sees him keep both feet stationary before pulling back his arm to a short distance in the build-up to delivering a huge blow. The 37-year-old then connects with the punch ball and rattles the machine with the power of his right-hand strike. The digits on the scoreboard immediately begin to soar and quickly maxed out at 999 in recognition of Ngannou's effort. Joshua will have to be wary of getting hit by Ngannou's dominant hand amid fears that the Cameroonian could knock out his English opponent. The strength of Joshua's chin has been tested in previous clashes and was wobbled by the lighter framed usage in both of his title fights with the Ukrainian. So Joshua might just fall into pieces if Ngannou gets him knocked by his right hand powerful point. But in the coming days, remember, Anthony Joshua is a Nigerian, so he's got that staying power. So we're wishing Anthony Joshua the very best. All right, we'll be wrapping up sport by talking golf. All right, let's give you a golf story. Rory McIlroy won a closer to the pin tiebreaker to land a £1.6 million, $1.6 million for charity in the match 9 on Monday night in Florida. The ninth edition of the exhibition golf series brought McIlroy, Max Homa, and LPGA stars Lex Thompson and Rose Zahn together for a 12-hole skin match under the lights at the Park Golf Course. But after McIlroy won the 3 skins for the combined $800,000 for charity, no player emerged to win any of the final 4 holes at the par 5 12th hole. The Northern Irishman announced that an unidentified friend of his was donating $500,000, I beg your pardon, to bring the total remaining stake to $1.6 million. After he then missed an eagle putt and was given the birdie, Homa drained a longer birdie putt to match him. So the 4 players returned to the fairway from approximately 100 yards out of the tiebreaker. McIlroy went first and stuck his weight shot to 4 feet 2.5 inches, and none of his counterparts came close to beating him. The only other player to win a skin was Thompson at the second hole when he sank a lengthy eagle putt to net $200,000. Meanwhile, Homa and Zhang did not get on the board. Not at number 4, players had to select just one club. All right, let's wrap it up talking Formula One. Yes, let's give you this Formula One story. Toto Wolff is in the news this morning. Let's say that Toto Wolff has been told to take a chance on upcoming teenager sensation when picking Lewis Hamilton's replacement. Yes, for Mercedes, Hamilton's stunning decision to sign a 2-year deal with Ferrari from 2025 has left Mercedes in the lurch as they attempt to find a new driver capable of partnering George Russell. Meanwhile, Hamilton and Mercedes have shared 6 Formula One Drivers' World Championship titles together since he switched to the German garage from McLaren in 2013. However, struggles with the car in recent seasons led to him making the decision to quit. Wolff is tasked with finding a credible new driver in Hamilton's place that can challenge for world titles at one of the Formula One's most celebrated teams, and has been given advice by former star Jolyon Palmer on who to look at. Meanwhile, Palmer, who previously made 37 Formula One appearances for Renault, has tipped 17-year-old Andrei Kimini and Anatoly to join Mercedes and hail the youngster as a future superstar. And the talented Italian is already part of Mercedes junior team and is yet to make his Formula 2 debut in his year's series, and is already been earmarked for a career in Formula One. All right, that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport. Today's edition was more of giving you big stories, making the rounds to get you more informed as regards all the trending stories in the world of boxing, Formula One, tennis, golf, and indeed the king of sport, football. All right, my name is Anthony Momodi, king of sport. That's how we call it a wrap on today's edition. Let's do this again tomorrow. Stay with us.